Hey everybody, welcome back. This is a compilation of exes that tried to ruin the wedding.
Wow.
Oh, brother. Oh, no.
What?
A super dramatic wedding I attended. A few years ago, my family and I got invited to my second cousin's wedding. The bride, my cousin, and the groom were wonderful people in their mid-20s who had known each other since middle school.
Oh, that is cute.
They were very much in love and had been deemed the perfect couple by my entire family. The wedding was exquisite. It was a large outdoor wedding with beautiful decorations and flowers everywhere. It was a shame it ended up being nearly ruined. First of all, the bride and groom had to wait 45 minutes because the groom's mother was late. What possible reason could she have had to be that late to a wedding? She showed up in a fancy white dress that could rival the bride's and insisted in being in all of the pre-wedding photos, which made it hard to tell who was the bride and visibly upset the actual bride.
It's a total move.
I mean, I would say it would be easy to tell because she'd be the one crying. The groom's mother then started verbally attacking the bride on her appearance, among other things, which left her close to tears. Hell no. Oh God, it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. I didn't know it was possible, but it does get worse.
Kind of like my life.
When it came to say the vows, the best man stepped forward and professed his undying love for the bride, saying that he'd been in love with her ever since high school. Okay, this is not the place to do this. A wedding is not the place to do this. And frankly, I don't think there's ever going to be a place to do that. Ever. If you're so damn in love with the bride, then maybe you should have done something about it before she was engaged to somebody else. He proceeded to list all the things he loved about her, including some pretty graphic things he wanted to do to her. Oh God, in front of everyone? Dear Lord, this poor bride. He claimed she knew she felt the same way. About that. I mean, she's like in a wedding dress marrying somebody else, so. But the bride just shook her head, looking extremely uncomfortable and even a little bit scared. If anybody ever did this, you're getting kicked out. Jail. I know it's not a crime, but like, you're going to jail. In my books, it's a crime. He was escorted out of the premises unwillingly. Good. Yes, good. At least there's somewhat of a happy ending. To top it all off, the groom's ex-girlfriend decided it was the right time to object to their marriage and claimed that it should have been her at the altar with the groom. Then why didn't you do something about it before the wedding?
Drama!
A wedding is not an open invitation to arrive and then try to ruin it. That's a very expensive party that y'all tried to ruin. But after that whole mess was taken care of, the bride and groom got married and the wedding party was still awesome. Despite the shaky wedding, they're still as happy as a couple as they were before the wedding, and they've been married for 5 years and have 2 beautiful little girls. Like I said, a very dramatic wedding. Pretty much everything that could have gone wrong at this wedding went wrong. You got the mother-in-law wearing a white dress. You got the mother-in-law berating the bride. You got the ex of the bride showing up. You got the ex of the groom showing up and trying to ruin the wedding. I'm glad that it didn't ruin the marriage. Could this be a rule? The more dramatic the wedding, the better the marriage? I hope not. I would hope that most weddings are normal. I really hope the mother-in-law has been cut out of their lives. She made her hate and spite toward the bride well known. She does not belong in her life. When you do these types of things publicly around other people, it doesn't make someone else look bad. It makes you look bad. Mother-in-law still left nasty comments under the bride's social media posts after the wedding, but she stopped about a year ago. For the most part, the groom and bride aren't in contact with her at all anymore. Well, I'm glad to hear it. That's what she deserves. Don't invite exes to your wedding. It almost always ends badly. Okay, but like, you can't always do that. What happens when there's shared custody of a child? Sometimes you're still friends with your ex. Moral of a story, don't invite your ex to the wedding. Would you guys invite your ex to your wedding? Let me know. Oh, that's weird that this is the title of the next one. Would you ever invite your ex to your wedding? So as the title states, I was invited to my ex's wedding about a little less than 2 years after we broke up. We dated when I was 15, he was 16, broke up about 8 months later at 16 and 17. That summer, he met someone new. I knew because I was the one dumped, and since he was my first love, I was high-key cyber stalking him. Okay, glad you can admit it, babes. About a year goes by and I let it go and continued on with my life, now that my first breakup wasn't actually the end of the world like I thought it would be. I was working at the summer job we both used to work at, and the only mutual friend / acquaintance we had gave me the invitation. Needless to say, I was super weirded out. I RSVP'd no because I didn't really want to go, and said friend said I was being a I don't think it's a move to not go to your ex's wedding. It's polite to send the invitation. It's not necessary for you to show up. Like, that's just like a recipe for disaster. Weddings are supposed to be about love. There isn't supposed to be any animosity in the room. There's no need to invite your ex. Like, I really don't feel there is, unless maybe there's kids involved. And even then, not necessary. So wait, you're telling me that he was like 18 years old when he got married? I wasn't even 18 and I was invited to my first boyfriend's wedding. Oh, that's a little early. I mean, no judgment, I guess, but like, all right. I was raised by parents who believe early marriage is worse than boiling live puppies. Okay, that's graphic. The concept of such a young couple weirded me out to the extreme. Also, their registry was insane. The cheapest thing was a towel set for the bathroom, face, hands, body towels, and it was over $350. That's weird. It's like they just invited you because they thought that maybe you'd get them a gift.
Yes.
Sometimes I think that's all it is, honestly. Considering it was a traditional Italian wedding bankrolled by their parents, I wasn't surprised, but the invite said a gift from the registry or a monetary gift of equal amount was highly encouraged. Okay, but for people who actually go, right? Like, if you don't go, then you don't have to get them a gift. Who actually puts that on an invite? It wasn't on an additional page, it was right on it. So I said no and said friend/acquaintance was no longer because of said dispute. I wasn't that upset about it. The wedding was called off 5 days before and she left him for some childhood crush who was a surfer in Australia or something stupid. Oh, stop it. Actually, I'm not like angry about it though. This is why it's like, that's a little young to be getting married. Like, aren't we still a little bit confused and like kind of wanting to like play the field a little bit, know what we want? Sounded like something from a bad rom-com. I genuinely feel like the only reason why they invited you is because they wanted a gift or money. Why? Why would you put your ex through that? That's so inappropriate. I am coming to the conclusion that it's probably just better to not invite your ex. Am I the a-hole for accidentally going to my ex's wedding? How does one accidentally go to your ex's wedding?
For revenge.
Ora! I, 35 female, should start by acknowledging that 10 years ago, I was a huge a-hole. I'm glad you can admit it, babes. It's good to admit these things, you know? By the way, I used to be a doesn't make it better, but it's good that you know that. I had a drinking problem and treated the folks around me terribly, including my ex-boyfriend. I'm sober 4 years now, working my program, trying to put better things into the universe. I recently started my first relationship while sober, and things are going well. We're about 3 months in. He, 35 male, knows I'm in recovery and that I had a lot of folks to make amends to in my life. A couple weeks ago, we took a small step into being more serious when he invited me to a college friend's wedding, where I would get to meet a lot of the folks he went to school with. His friend was the bride. The day of the wedding, we were getting ready at his apartment, and I saw in the invite that the groom's name was pretty similar to my ex's. I didn't put the pieces together because my ex has an extremely common name. Think Bob Smith or Steve Jones level common. The invite used a variation of the first name that is not what he went by when we were together. I also thought my ex had moved across the country after things ended between us. Okay. We showed up at the church and sat with my boyfriend's friends on the bride's side. We had arrived before most people settled into their seats, and I didn't see anyone I recognized at the time. So I relaxed and I chatted with the folks near us. When I heard the music for the ceremony starting, I looked forward and saw the groom was my ex, and it was too late to leave quietly. Oh no. Oh, that is so awkward. I honestly probably would have ducked and like crawled on the floor. I put my head down and tried to be as non-conspicuous as possible, but he definitely saw me because he turned as white as a ghost. Brother, oh dear. Oh dear. Imagine you're the groom and you see that, and you probably think that she showed up to ruin your wedding. I told my boyfriend the 30-second version of what happened, and he agreed that we would skip the reception. When the ceremony ended, we tried to exit quietly, but my ex saw me on the way out of the church and got super angry, called me all sorts of names, and I said I ruined his wedding by being there. Ooh, okay, all right. I mean, you didn't know, so it's good that you admitted that you were an a-hole, because this makes a lot of sense. I do feel like there maybe should have been some sort of communication. Like, you say that you're apologizing to people that you hurt in the past. There probably should have been some sort of communication since then, but I digress. The bride was silently shooting daggers next to him the whole time. I just kept apologizing and saying it was a mistake, but I've spent the last weeks agonizing over whether I should have been more careful or double checked before just showing up. I guess you could have in hindsight, but that's a really free freaky coincidence. Like, at the end of the day, it is a coincidence. I don't know. I'm also trying to figure out if I should send a gift or a card or something apologizing again and explaining what happened. Before realizing the groom was my ex, I contributed to the gift my boyfriend was giving, but didn't send anything separately. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. This is a toughie. Thank you to everyone who commented, especially those who shared advice. I don't want to re-traumatize my ex, and many of the comments made me realize apologizing directly could do that. Okay, all right. I mean, we don't know what happened in your relationship, so I'm not sure how it could re-traumatize him, but if you're saying it could, then I believe you. It would be more for my benefit than for his. That's a good point. Sometimes I feel like we apologize literally just because we feel guilty, not because we're actually sorry. Not the a-hole. I mean, you didn't intentionally go to his wedding. Also, it was 10 years ago. Why is this guy ruining his own wedding for it? He could have just ignored you and let you leave. That is a good point. It was 10 years ago, but it also depends on like what happened in their relationship. Like if it really was as bad as she says it was, then like, you know, maybe he has a right to be mad. We don't know the extent of it. If she traumatized him, it doesn't work like that. I've dated an alcoholic, and if I saw him again after the things he'd done, I couldn't promise I would be rational on a highly emotional day. There you go. If I saw my abusive, toxic ex at my wedding even 10 years later, I would be pissed, horrified, worried they'd attended on purpose to F with me. It would definitely throw me off and put me in a bad place for what was supposed to be a happy occasion. It was an accident, but we also have to come to terms with the fact that when we hurt people, there are consequences, even 10 years later. You're not an asshole in this instance, but you were an asshole back in the day. It reminds me of a time when I showed up to my boyfriend's friend's engagement party and the bride was actually someone that really, really hated me back in the day. She like unfollowed me on social media. I don't even remember what it was about, but we were not friends, okay? And it was very awkward seeing her and I was like, oh, okay, you're marrying that one. Okay, sure, yeah. Happy for you, babes. Happy for you. Little do you know. People change, people can change. Maybe she's changed, I don't know.
She didn't.
Went to my ex's wedding and it was awesome. Okay, let's end this on a high note. Hopefully it's a high note. Hopefully this isn't a petty revenge story. Could that mean it's a high note? Let's find out. Just wanted to share. Up until literal minutes before we left for the event, I wasn't sure I would go. I really didn't want to go. Lots of reasons. Not to mention, weddings are just funerals with cake. Nice. And that there's no such thing as eternal love, yada yada. You know what? Zip it for the hopeless romantics. Let me be Delulu. Other reasons why I didn't want to go included the fact that people don't like me, and I don't like people. Great. I also don't like many people, so can relate. So I arrived, and I was mortified. Several women were there in impressive outfits, incredible dresses, and I was wearing a casual shirt and pants and a pair of running shoes. Well, there's your first red flag. My partner was in a t-shirt. Okay. I spent 15 minutes planning my escape, just figuring out where to leave the gift and split. When the trans guests started arriving, they were dressed exactly like me, lol. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That went in a direction I wasn't expecting, okay. I knew a couple of them, so we started talking. Then when the rest of the guests had arrived, I realized about 40% were trans, another 40 were gay, and the remaining 20%, who knows? It's fine. So I felt better. Then the brides arrived. They were so happy. The DJ was incredible. I'm so booking her for whenever I'm having an event. Another thing that bothered me was my alcoholism, but even though I drank half a bottle of whiskey, I didn't get drunk and behaved flawlessly. You sure about that? Anyways, I split early because I just couldn't stand the noise anymore. I'm not neurotypical, loud music just kills me. Anyway, just wanted to share how awesome the experience was. I was mortified at first, but don't regret anything. I'm glad to know there can be some instances where going to an ex's wedding isn't the worst idea you've ever had. Hold on. Is that his ex? Wait. The caption is, my ex asked me to sing at his wedding. First of all, why would you do that? Why would you ask her to sing at your wedding? And this is the song she chose, eh? Oh, the water! Oh, dang. Oh, he chases after her. Yo, your bride's over there, buddy. Your bride's over there. That's not your bride. That's not the bride. The fact that he went after her and not to comfort his new blushing bride is very telling. Creator response, I've been leaving him on red. Uh-oh. We're gonna watch that in a second. Let's see everybody else's responses. She didn't steal the show. She stole the day, crashed the wedding, caused the divorce with one song. She is our leader now.
Very telling indeed, especially because he's been texting me almost every day for the past 5 days.
Ooh, that's messy. Messy. She's a great singer, though, have to say. 'Cause I dug my key into the side of his... Am I the a-hole for showing up at my ex's wedding in a I almost said petty dress. Pretty dress. Showing up in a pretty dress, not a petty dress. Well, kind of, though. Let's find out. My ex and I had a peaceful divorce. We co-parent our 3 children together and there haven't really been many issues. My ex is getting married to Stephanie. I like Stephanie. She's been great with my kids and makes my ex happy. My ex invited me to their wedding and I was happy for him. It was my day with the kids, so it made sense for me to come, was his reasoning. When I arrived at the wedding, Stephanie thanked me for dropping the kids off and brushed me off. We never had any issues before. Okay. I explained that I was going to stay for the reception and she was very upset. I was confused because I assumed she knew that I would be in attendance. It turns out she didn't consider that I would actually accept the invitation. Okay, awkward. I told her I was invited and since I took the 2-hour drive, I would be staying for the entire duration. No. If she doesn't want you there, she doesn't want you there, babe. She didn't like this response. Stephanie asked me to leave and I stood my ground. She went on to complain about my dress upstaging hers. My ex and former mother-in-law helped her to calm down and the wedding shortly began. I thought that was the end of it, but later in private, Stephanie accused me of trying to ruin her special day. Well, yeah, you kind of stayed when she clearly didn't want you there. Yeah, it sucks that, there was some miscommunication and whatever, but it's her wedding, and if she was uncomfortable with you being there, you're not allowed to be there. She is convinced that I wanted to show off and make the wedding about my divorce. She said it was rude for me to not leave after the bride requested it because it was her special day. Correct. I told her that I'm not responsible for her insecurities. Absolutely not! Don't ever say that! Oh, okay, I see how this is. And once again, reminded her I have no interest in stealing my ex back. Edit, the dress I posted is on my page, and since this is a throwaway, I don't remember the random password I typed up. Okay, whatever. I am curious to see the dress, but I guess we won't. You're not an a-hole for showing up, but you are an a-hole for staying. Like, I cannot even believe that you wanted to stay somewhere where you weren't wanted. You're the a-hole. I love when these posts are skewed to be, but I didn't do anything wrong. And then you see the dress and it's literally a red wedding dress. Uh-oh. Wait, is that the dress? Bro, red? Ooh. That means something, doesn't it? Before OP deleted her previous posts and comments, they apparently had bragged on True Off My Chest about upstaging the bride at her ex's wedding. Oh God, let's see the link. Let's see it. You're the a-hole times a million. How can you even ask, OP? Yep, OP pretended to wear a pretty dress. I love how that she omitted the information of it being a red wedding dress. Knowing we'd all assume it'd be a pretty cocktail dress or a similar outfit. No, she shows up in a full-on black tie gown, which actually could be a red wedding gown. She knew what she was doing, 100% the a-hole. It literally says woman's sweetheart full lace beach wedding dress, mermaid bridal gown. All right. Oh, the plot has thickened. My wedding was ruined by a jealous ex and she decided to brag about this on Reddit. All right. Let's hear the bride side of the story. My husband and I have been married for 2 weeks and I'm already having regrets. My husband's ex has been making this really difficult for us. She makes sure my stepchildren call me by my first name rather than any term of endearment. Our wedding happened to fall on one of her days with the kids. My husband invited her for reasons I'm still unsure of. I was unaware of her receiving an invitation, but my husband never informed me that she'd accepted. She came with the kids an hour later. I assumed she was dropping them off, but she had intentions to stay. She was dressed more elegantly than me, and that felt off, so I asked her to leave. She disrespectfully told me she would be staying. My husband and mother-in-law told me she was like family and would not be leaving. I was disgusted by this because it was obvious what this woman was doing. She posted the story on here, but in a way that made me out to be a toxic villain in the story. The story had appeared on the popular page of Reddit and was also on a friend's TikTok For You page. It wasn't hard to identify myself because I recognized the dress, and she also used my real name in the story. I don't understand why she's doing this because we had been civil with each other until now, and I'm very offended by the way she degraded me in her defensive comments and by the fact that my husband took her side. Your husband doesn't want to take the responsibility for inviting his ex to your wedding. He probably wants things to be good with her, but he should have told you. That's something I would definitely want to know if it was my wedding. If my husband-to-be's ex was gonna show up at all, I would want to know that. To the ex, you're the a-hole, and this goes for everybody else. Do not stay where you're not wanted, ever. Doesn't matter the circumstance. You hold your head high and you leave. Would I be the a-hole for taking my friend's ex as my date to her wedding after I got kicked out of her wedding party? My friend is marrying my ex-boyfriend of 4 years. It's been pretty awkward. I was kicked out of her wedding party because I was uncomfortable wearing a very revealing bridesmaid's gown. This wasn't that big of a deal as we're not exactly close since she got with my ex. Yeah, that would ruin things a little bit. However, she still expects me to take on all the duties of a bridesmaid. I told her that was ridiculous and she needed to find a new bridesmaid. She then almost uninvited me from the wedding, but instead decided I could go if I follow a very specific set of rules, ranging from how to dress to who to talk to. I was absolutely crushed as I was still looking forward to the wedding, even if I wasn't going to be in it. I found out through a mutual friend who's still in the wedding party that the bride continually makes fun of me and talks crap about me constantly, and so do several of the other bridesmaids. Remember what I said about not going where you're not wanted? Don't go there. Just don't go. I was just about to not go when I ran into the bride's ex, who's also invited to the wedding. He's the groom's cousin. He was kicked out of the wedding party because he was given a list of rules to follow. He and I decided we're gonna go together and have fun breaking as many rules that we can. Such as wearing what we want to wear, drinking at the open bar, talking to whoever we want, and dancing. We're not allowed to dance. Okay, whoa, okay, okay. Ooh, this is a tough one here. Sounds kind of sucky on all sides. Nothing we would do would distract us from the bride's big day other than breaking the ridiculously petty rules that we were supposed to follow. We're also both at the point where we're ready to sever ties with the bride and groom. Would we be the a-holes? Sorry if this was scattered. A lot happened in the past month and her wedding is in 3 weeks. Thanks in advance. I'm willing to accept my judgment. And accept it you shall! I mean, listen. Brides being a bridezilla, for sure. You are being petty. It is petty to show up with her ex, like it is. It's also petty to break all the rules and to like try to ruin the wedding. Like you're gonna go crash the wedding, essentially, is what you want permission to do. You're gonna be an a-hole, like you are. And guess what? It's okay to be an a-hole once in a while. It's the people that are like delusional that don't understand that they're being a-holes. If you want to be a petty a-hole, go ahead and be a petty a-hole. But understand that that's what you are. You're planning to go to someone else's wedding to up out of petty revenge. You have admitted that you're going there to break as many rules as possible, no matter how ridiculous the rules are. This is her big day. The bride and other bridesmaids are the a-hole too. They're talking crap about you behind your back, and I can't say I wouldn't be annoyed by that because I would. She's with your ex-boyfriend and you have admitted that this is what caused you and her to not be as close, and now you're planning on going with her ex-boyfriend to the wedding. Honestly, I think as funny as I think it would be for you to go there and break some of the rules, it still makes you an a-hole. See? You're an a-hole, she's an a-hole, you're all a-holes. Big gaping a-holes. Nah, it's an a-hole move, but as someone pointed out, there needs to be a justified a-hole option. I also agree with that. There's no justified a-hole in this situation. Yes, the bride sucks. Yes, the other bridesmaids suck. Yeah, the situation sucks. But when you have the option of just not attending the wedding, it's the must... But when you have the option of just not attending the wedding, it's the much better option over I'm gonna go to the wedding to completely mess up the day for everyone else, including the parents of both couples. There's no justification for going to a wedding for specifically the purpose of being as big of a-holes as you can possibly be. There's nothing the bride could have done short of murder that would make this acceptable behavior, especially when you can just not go. I agree. There's no need to go. I kind of wish that you didn't like admit this on Am I the A-hole? Like, I kind of wish that you just showed up to the wedding, you know, kept your head down, and then like maybe hooked up with her ex. That way she could hear about it later. So it doesn't take the, you know, the spotlight away from her at the wedding, but like after the wedding, You're the a-hole, they're the a-hole, and you get nothing.
Nothing.
Wedding crasher.
My ex-girlfriend got married, and I'm not happy for her one bit. Wallah, that marriage. Wedding crasher. I'm gonna crash that wedding with my Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come in there. Oh, no. Who do you think you are? Now, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna make sure everybody's like, what? And they're gonna go home, okay? The guy's gonna be like, yo, I don't even love her anymore. The girl's gonna be like, oh my God. I'm gonna make sure, okay, from the bottom of my heart, that nothing goes smooth. Okay, this marriage, no kids, no happiness, nada, nothing, okay? As long as I'm alive, she ain't getting married to nobody. Not even to me, bro. To be honest, like, I don't give a if she don't love me. I don't even love myself. But her,
Clearly.
married, happy, no way, Jose. I'm the Grinch. Okay, I'm the Grinch. But instead of Christmas, I'm ruining this marriage. All right? Nobody is happy as long as I have a say-so. You understand? Now, cancel the marriage before I gotta cancel it for you. All right?
In the wise words of Elsa, let it go, let it go. Just let it go, buddy. Don't you dare show up to that wedding. Am I the a-hole? I didn't attend my son's wedding. I instead spent the evening
With his ex-wife.
Hang on, what? Quick backstory. After graduating high school, my son moved 3 states away for college. At 19, he married a girl he met. I tried convincing him to wait because I personally felt he was too immature. They both dropped out and moved back here to his hometown. At 20, they had their first child, a beautiful little girl. 16 months later, my daughter-in-law gave birth to their second child, a little boy. After the first baby, my wife and I noticed our daughter-in-law wasn't happy. We both thought it was PPD related. Just after the second arrived, my son and his wife separated. She would bring the kids over for a visit. It was then she began unloading on us. I know there's 2 sides to every story, but considering I know my son, I believed her. I sat my son down numerous times to speak with him regarding his marriage. He refused to take responsibility, blamed her for everything, even when I directly pointed out where he was the sole problem. They got into counseling for a year. Things were okay on the surface. Our daughter-in-law filed for divorce. My son, 3 days later, was on Facebook announcing his new girlfriend. A month later, they were engaged. Whoa! My son forced his then wife to become a permanent stay-at-home mom at the birth of their first child. She, of course, had no other family or friends here. She knew no one aside from us. She had nowhere to go with 2 small children. Unbeknownst to our son, my wife and I helped her financially and got her an apartment. Whoa! Messy! Before the divorce was even finalized, we received a wedding invitation. I made it clear to my son I would not be attending and they would not have my blessing. His mother told him she would see to it that I would attend. I stayed consistent in my decision. I also asked him not to bring his fiancée around our house out of respect for the mother of his children. The wedding happened on February 11th. The night before, my wife gave me the final push. I did not attend. Our daughter also did not attend for the same reasons. My wife picked up our grandkids, got them dressed, and attended the wedding. My daughter and I decided to spend the evening with his ex. Wow. Oh, that's... Jeez. I couldn't imagine her sitting alone while her kids attended her father's wedding. She was taken aback that I didn't end up attending his wedding. We took her out to distract her mind. I just wanted her to know she'll always be considered family to us. My daughter also made the joke that they could drop the in-law status and just be sisters now. She was very tearfully grateful. I realized just how badly she needed our support, and specifically on that night. The next morning, my son called me to tell me how much a horrible father I am for not attending his wedding. I think you get a pass, babe. A few days later, he caught wind that I spent the evening with his ex. He said that was the ultimate form of betrayal. Oh, yeah? I mean, you would know, wouldn't you? And further, myself and his sister would have to earn a relationship with him on his terms only. You're not the a-hole, my dear, and I know this wasn't an ex that ruined the wedding. My fiance left me for his one that got away, but now he wants me back. I think you know how I feel about this already. Grab your blankies, grab your tea, and buckle the up. My fiance and I had been together for 3 years. He was my first boyfriend. We laughed, we cried, worried, and were happy together. Our families mixed very well. Our moms became close friends very fast. He was my best friend, my confidant, my support, my comfort. I looked at him and could see our future together. God, I'm even crying remembering the one time we took a blanket, went outside, and looked up at the stars like in a book.
He sounds like a great guy.
I never thought thought something like this could happen to me. The man I loved could never have done anything like that to me. It all started about 2 months ago. His ex, high school sweetheart together 7 years, moved back to our country and wanted to catch up with Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
His fake name. He told me they broke up because they were unable to sustain an LDR when she left to pursue postgraduate studies. What's an LDR? An LDR is a long distance relationship, just so we're all clear. They hadn't been in contact for about 5 years. She sent him an email, he showed it to me, and it was completely platonic. She was just curious about what he had become. Okay, curious about what he had become. Or what she was missing, perhaps? He asked me if he could meet her. I said yes. Ooh.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I trusted him. So he went, but when he came back, he was a bit withdrawn. Right. No surprise there. I'm sorry, but like, you can be cordial with your exes. You can't hang out with them when you're in a relationship. That is my boundary. Maybe other people are okay with it. Probably gets messy if there's kids, but like... He's usually very chatty, but he was dismissive when I asked him how it went. I let it go. However, the following weeks, he was often on his phone. He picked random fights with me and didn't look at me in the eyes when we... giggity. Didn't whisper loving words either, right? Because he was thinking about somebody else.
About Jesus.
And looking for reasons to break up with you. Ladies, for the record, if he starts acting strange out of nowhere, there's somebody else. I'm really touchy / clingy, and in our 3 years together, he had never once recoiled or refused my embrace, but he started doing it. Ugh, jeez. I usually hug him like a koala when he comes home from work. I'm a bit childish, I know, but he only let me do it twice. It was such a sudden change. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he wasn't feeling too good nowadays. Or maybe you should never have gone to meet up with your ex. Like, what possible reason could you have to catch up?
Wow.
I'd be okay with a catch up if I was there, not alone. They can't be alone together. On a Saturday, I went to visit his grandma and we usually knit together. She taught me and I was gone the whole day. I really felt close to her because she adopted me easily and reminds me of my own who died when I was in high school. When I came back, I found him packing his stuff. My whole world fell apart. He was being so cowardly. He told me he was sorry for making me suffer like this, but sometimes life gives you a second chance and you have to recognize it for what it is. Okay, we all got a one that got away, all right? We all have someone that maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe they just really weren't right for us, but they're the one that got away for a reason. When they come back, it's almost like they just want to test out if you're like still available, if they can still come to you whenever they need some validation. I already know how this is gonna turn out. Well, it's also in the title, but
That's cheating.
he loved me, but when he met his ex, he realized the feelings weren't the same. He said he regretted letting go of her, that he found himself again, that it had been a difficult choice for him, but he had to take his chance. His ex wanted him back. Ugh, brother. Couldn't she have wanted him back when he wasn't in a happy relationship?
Where's the fun in that?
She had realized what she lost and risked losing for good when he told her he was getting married. He supposedly refused her at first, but as time passed and they talked together, his old feelings came back. He hoped I would forgive him one day and understand. In this instance, I would not forgive. I would not. I cried as he was talking. It sounds stupid, but it's as if it sounds stupid, but it's as if it was a teen. It sounds stupid, but it was as if he was a. It sounds stupid, but as a.
Dear Lord.
It sounds stupid, but it was as if it was a stranger in front of me. He said he would still pay rent and part of the bills until our lease was up and I can find another place. He makes a lot more than me, and I wouldn't be able to afford living in our apartment on my own. I begged him not to make this mistake, that he was being fooled by an idealized memory of their past together and that he was having cold feet. See, this is the thing about the one that got away, right? I feel like we put them on this pedestal and we want an idea of them. We don't actually love them because the one that actually exists hurts us. Does that make sense? The people you idealize and put on a pedestal, that's not who they really are. You fall in love with the potential, not with the person.
Well said.
He was like a wall. He didn't even look at me. At about 10 p.m., there was a truck outside with one of his friends waiting for him. He apparently came to help him move. I wasn't really close with that particular friend, but he did seem sorry for me. Mark hugged me and left. I hadn't cried that hard in years. I slept in our spare room, not to feel the emptiness of our room with his things gone. I sunk to the deepest pathetic and tried to call him, but it went to voicemail. Had no idea where he went, but I assumed he was now living with his ex after 3 weeks of talking again. How ridiculous.
Where is your honor, dirtbag?
Who wants to bet that as soon as she has him, she's gonna leave him? I'm really lucky to have supportive friends and family. My best friend even moved in for 5 days. My parents wanted me back home with them, but I really wasn't ready to leave. Mark is a bit messy and I'm manic, so it felt weird having everything perfectly neat. I missed his messiness. It was as if he was the one that was making our house a home. He used to joke about me wanting the house to look like it was on sale or in a catalog. Not waking up to make breakfast, not seeing him read, lying on the sofa while I studied felt weird. Not buying his favorite snack or powder proteins when he was doing groceries felt weird. I felt very lost at first. It was like grieving. Usually when people break up, their relationship was going south, but to me, it came out of nowhere. I still loved him and I was planning the wedding and working on my side to build our future together. It was all gone in a day. Oh, girl, this is just brutal. I wish I had been smarter and refused to meet his one that got away. I mean, to a certain extent, you did trust him. You didn't think that he would just like switch on you like that because, you know, if you say, oh, you can't meet him, then they're like, oh, you're so controlling, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, you're not respecting the relationship by wanting to go and meet up with your ex to catch up. The hell you gotta catch up about? What you need to talk about?
Relationships and sex and stuff.
His family was dumbfounded. I still went to see his grandma. She told me he was a fool and that he would come back crawling to me. Wise words. She was the first person who managed to make me laugh. His mom, my mom, and I started making calls to cancel all reservations. Luckily, the store accepted to take back the dress. We didn't pay much for the location as we canceled early. Next was to inform the guests. He had been gone for about 3 weeks. His family was furious with him, so they didn't contact him much. The only contact I have with him was the signed check he made to cover the wedding cancellation. However, about a week ago, I received a letter from him. He apologized for leaving me like this. Said he made the biggest mistake of his life, that he couldn't even believe what he had done.
Well, well, well.
Okay, why couldn't you have realized that before she dropped you like she always does?
It's more fun this way.
He was writing me this letter because he didn't have the courage to face me. You were right. I was running after a perfect relationship that never existed. I regret it so much. I thought I was in love with her, but in reality, I was in love with what she represented. Why don't you listen to me? How come you never listen to me? I'm always right. Except when I'm not. I had cold feet and got afraid of moving forward into this new segment of life. I couldn't stop thinking about you when I was with her. She's not you. She doesn't know me or loves me like you. She doesn't smell like you.
This is getting weird.
I missed hearing you sing randomly throughout the day. I missed having someone nagging me to pick up my stuff. I missed planning Halloween parties for the kids with you. At the time I'm writing this letter, we would have probably been decoration shopping had I not been a fool. Everyone told me, but I was being a blind fool. I would do anything to go back in the past and slap some sense into myself. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you were that easily swayed, everybody gets a little cold feet, all right? Marriage is a big commitment, but you don't just leave. I would do anything for you to forgive me. I know we've already started canceling everything, but I'm ready to pay for everything myself. You can date someone else to even the scores if you want, as long as you come back to me. Oh, you're willing to take that chance? I would write the whole letter, but I'm only on my iPad and it's tiring. Oh, wow, such low effort here. Oh, she is. That's what she said. I just gave the important parts. He kept on with apologies and begging me to forgive him. Now, I told my family, left friends out for the moment, and his mom and grandma. Grandma had a very satisfied, told you so moment. However, she's rooting for me to forgive him. His mom was supposed to send a formal letter to guests to tell them the wedding was off, but now is waiting for my answer. I don't know what to do. I love him with all my heart, but what he did to me, I don't know if I can get over it. You won't. You'll resent him forever. If you don't break up now, you're gonna do so in the future, having spent thousands of dollars on a wedding, and it'll be worse. He made me feel worthless. He threw me away as if I was no one to him after 3 years. He gave up on us for some ghost from his past when we were at our happiest. If he can't leave me when we are doing good, how will we sustain a marriage? Period, baby girl. Will he leave the moment things get hard? Probably. He hurt me so badly and expects me to forgive him. He wants us to meet on Sunday, but I'm not sure. I'm willing to. I need some perspective. What do you do in my situation? You don't. It's over. I'm sorry. It's over. Just a thought. How do you know that the old girlfriend didn't call it off sending him back to pick up the pieces? That's what I'm saying, okay? I don't think that he realized. I think that she got her little validation that she needed from him and then dropped him. Definitely don't be the second choice. You are still the second choice. The right people don't need second chances. You deserve much more. It's true. I still have no idea where he is or if he still lives with her, but honestly, I don't think I should even care to clarify. You guys have let it down really well for me, and I can't even see things I hadn't considered for what he did. I just want to answer, please do not contact me again and be done. However, I don't know if it's proper. Proper? Sorry, I just burped a little bit. I'm sorry. I think we're past proper, babes. We're past proper. It's also not proper to leave your fiance right before your wedding. So why are you worried about being proper? I also feel like it is proper. Like, I feel like it is like appropriate right now to do that. Either you send that text or you just don't, just ghost. Don't give it any more thought or effort. Wedding is still off. Even if you can't take him back, you can't move forward with plans to spend the rest of your life with someone you're justifiably afraid will leave the moment things get hard until you've resolved those fears. That's gonna take a lot of time, counseling, and hard work, and frankly, I don't think he's up for it. The fact that he's even suggesting to even the score, like, yeah, why would you want your girlfriend, like, why are you okay with your girlfriend being okay with somebody else? Your fiance. How are you okay with that?
I'm a douche.
Is that just all this, like, a transactional, like, thing? The fact that he's suggesting to even the score as a way to solve this rather than a whole new set of problems is a huge red flag that he still has no idea what a successful marriage entails. It's like, oh, sorry, I cheated. You want to cheat too to just even the score?
Get away from me.
If you're not completely ready to walk away, tell him you need more time to think about what you want to do, and you will let him know when you're ready. But it really just sounds like he's running after what he can't have again. That's what it is. Unfortunately, a lot of guys want what they can't have. I wonder if he's even told his ex that this is a mistake yet, or is he avoiding that confrontation too? Oh, she dumped him for sure. Like, we don't know, but like, we know. There is an update. I didn't plan on updating, or at least not so soon, but I have another problem. I'm really thankful to everyone who answered and comforted me. You guys gave me the strength to look forward and not make a decision based on nostalgia. I felt really alone in my pain, but thanks to you, I feel a little less lonely. You're not the only one, babes. This story is not unique. So Mark wanted to meet on Sunday, but I unblocked him from my phone and told him I didn't want to meet and to please not contact me anymore. He answered, please, baby, I need to talk to you. Can we meet another day? I know I messed up really bad and hurt you deeply, but I'll do anything to make it up to you. Anything you ask, I'll do it. Needless to say, it just angered me more. How dare he use terms of endearment with me? That's not your baby anymore. I just blocked him again after that. I met his mom on Saturday and told her to proceed with the notification of cancellation. We had an emotional moment, and she told me, even though she would have really wanted us to say one big family, she would have done the same in my place. Wow, that's nice. That's nice to have her support, because I mean, I'm sure that she would have wanted what's best for her son, but clearly the son is not good enough. He's not good enough for her. I'm more sad that you're losing that mother-in-law and his family. They sound great. She had hoped I would find the strength to forgive him, but she understands. And so the wedding is indeed being canceled. Yay! Buddy! My poor brother, I told him personally, and he had already bought his plane tickets from Australia, but got a refund. I rearranged all the furniture in the house and bought new bedding sets to make a new start and moved into the spare room for good. It looks really different, and I like it. And apparently he told our friends because someone brought it up to me asking if we're getting back together, but they said they didn't want to side. But they're on your side. I'm on your side, for the record. On a Sunday evening, I had a visitor. I never have people coming this late usually. It was around 9 p.m. When I went to look through the peephole, I saw Mark with his ex. Okay. I seriously had a moment of panic. He must still have the key from the main entry since he managed to get to my door without using the intercom. I don't know if it was a cowardly thing to do, but I just chose not to open. I know they knew I was there, and I heard him ask me,
please let me in. He just wants to talk.
Through the door. Honestly, even though I feel better, I don't think I'm emotionally stable enough to deal with him, and especially his ex. The audacity of her showing up to your door. They stayed about 15 minutes and then they left. I thought he would get the message, but they came again yesterday around the same time, and I didn't open again. They waited even longer. I know I'm not being an adult. No, this is how adults behave. Adults have boundaries. That's your house, baby girl. Don't let them in. So now I don't know what to do. I feel nervous in my own house because I dread the moment they'll come back. He knows my schedule, and he came at a time where I usually come back from my Zumba class. However, yesterday was a holiday, so we didn't have class. I'm afraid he will come again, and I don't think I can face him. What should I do now? I know I can't run away forever, but I need more time. Is this worth calling the police over? I mean, maybe. Je téléphone à la police. Yes. I fear it would make the problem bigger than it is and hurt our family relations. Our moms are really close. Oh, yeah, I guess so. And he really is not dangerous, I think. I mean, you're telling him that you don't want him to contact you and he's still trying to. And like showing up at your door, that's scary. That's invasive. He didn't contact me enough for it to be considered harassment anyway. Should I just be a big girl and open the next time they come? Or do I wait it out? Also, why is he bringing her? I'm curious, but I want to stand by my decision. I'm confused as to why he's bringing her too. She's just coming to drop off the trash. Let me see if anybody has insight in the comments, because what possible reason could the ex have for showing up? Call his mom, explain that he's dropped by and you want him to stop. Tell her that he has come by your place twice already, but you did not want to talk to him or let him in. Tell her that he's not welcome to come by your home. If there's a third visit, you will be forced to pursue a restraining order, and you'd rather not have to go down that road. Also worth mentioning that he was with the girl when he dropped by. My bet is that he thinks you talking to her will persuade you that there is nothing between them. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He still left you. He still left you for her, and then changed changed his mind? He likely think the reason you will not take him back is because you do not believe that the relationship between them is over. No, we can believe it's over, but I think that she probably just realized that she doesn't want to be with someone who would leave his fiance that quick. With a flick of her finger, just like snap, and there he is. Like, I don't want that man. I wouldn't want him either. The reality is that you will never take him back because he shattered the trust. His current relationship status has zero bearing on that shattered trust. Also, move. I was gonna say this also. It's very clear that you have to move and change your number. Like, if you don't want to do the restraining order thing because it get a little messy, like, you gotta get out of there. Like, you gotta move. He can't know where you are. Start the process of finding a new apartment. If you are locked into a lease, talk with your landlord and explain you have an ex who keeps coming around even after he's been told not to. Lots of landlords have more than one apartment building and might be able to accommodate you moving into another one of their units. I have a theory on the ex. I think he wants her to talk to the ex so the ex can convince her to take him back. As if the ex can say there's no relationship between us, I'm not a threat and you should take him back. Yeah, I'm good. It's because he's misunderstanding why she won't take him back. Right, because he left her right before they were gonna get married. I'm sorry, does that not like register that like what you did was like hurtful? He thinks she's worried that he'll leave for the ex again and the ex can convince OP that that won't happen. Yeah, no, sorry babe, I don't want him. You can have him. I was just playing. Break up with your boyfriend. What does Ariana Grande say? Break up with your boyfriend because I'm bored. Is the ex Ariana Grande? Ooh. Oopsie. The reality is OP does not want him back because he shattered all trust and the relationship no longer has a foundation. Therefore, there is no relationship. It's not about him going back to the ex. It's the fact that he left OP in the first place and that killed everything. I surprised my now ex-fiance by walking down the aisle with his mistress. What? Do tell. For the sake of the story, we're gonna call his mistress Mia and my ex-fiance Michael. Me and Michael met in 2019 and hit it off right away. He was smart, funny, and all in all, a great guy. About 2 years into our relationship, he asked if I'd ever be willing to bring another person into our relationship or have an open one. Okay. I told him no and that I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Okay. Moot point. Okay, some people are comfortable with that, some people are not. Looking back at it now, that was a huge red flag, but I decided to ignore it. So basically he asked your permission, he was interested in seeing other people, probably would have done it anyway. Michael never raised any suspicions of cheating and had always been a loving and supportive partner. In May of 2023, he proposed. The ring looked a bit cheap, but I didn't care because I loved him and wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. About a month later, Michael went on a trip with friends and left me alone at home. During that time, I was scrolling through TikTok when I found this girl talking about her engagement. Her ring looked oddly similar to mine, and lo and behold, the end of the video, there was a photo of her and my fiance together. Wow. TikTok do be out here doing the Lord's work. I was in shock and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was about to call Michael when I stopped and decided to do a bit of investigating.
You moved in the shadows. We always move in the shadows!
I contacted Mia a few days later after Michael came home, and I messaged Mia to explain the situation. We then decided to meet up for coffee, where I then find out that they started dating 2 years into Michael and I's relationship. Coincidence? I think not. So that's when I started plotting. For multiple months, it was a juggling act, with trying to act like everything is fine, while also scheming the best form of revenge. Me and Mia, Mamma Mia, went all out and wasted no expense in making everything look perfect for what Michael thought was me and his wedding. I don't get it. How were you gonna have 2 weddings, Michael? How are you gonna have 2 weddings? So were you planning on having a big wedding with OP and then like a small wedding with Mia? Like, how did you think this was gonna work? You know you can only sign 1 marriage certificate, right? I think in most states anyway. It was actually a lot of fun, and me and Mia grew very close during the experience. Oh, well, I'm glad you got a new bestie out of it. So fast forward to the day of the wedding. His family's there, my family's there, as well as friends. The photographer is in position to capture both his reaction and me and Mia. Mamma Mia, here I go again, walking down the aisle with his mistress. We walk out side by side, grinning ear to ear. I wish I could have bottled up his reaction because it was priceless. Oh God, just like, you know, just grab it and stick it in my pocket for later, you know? I then explain to flabbergasted guests the situation and invite them to enjoy food and drinks at the reception. I later find out by one of Michael's friends that he apparently had some delulu fantasy of having 2 wives and 6 kids. If that is what you want, maybe it's your religion or whatever, they're gonna have to know about each other, okay? That happened around January, and now me and Mia are enjoying our honeymoon together. On a cruise ship while he's single, jobless, and living with his brother. Oh, goody, goody. Oh, this is just delectable, my dear. Lopsided Tiger 5317. You're learning. My babies are learning. I'm not trying to take credit for you moving in the shadows. I'm sure you probably did this way before you even started watching my content. But like, it just makes me so happy. You're hilarious. And you're not the a-hole. I know this isn't a not the a-hole, but you're definitely not the a-hole. This is the definition of move in the shadows. Well done, bestie. See? You moved in those shadows. You are the shadow queen, as this comment says. I hereby trademark the word shadow queen. Not if I do it first. All right, there's a lot of people who are saying that this is fake. Okay, some people saying they don't want me to read it. It's a little late for that. I've been filming for like 15 minutes, so it's going in. But we got some response from OP, okay? So Lopsided Tiger responds, all right, let me explain a few things. Me and Mia kept things super quiet, and only 2 or 3 people knew what we were planning. We also agreed on a small ceremony, and most of the family lives nearby. I also did offer to pay for the plane tickets home for some people on his side of the family. This story sounds like it was written by a teenager for their creative writing class. Don't marry her. Please don't marry her.
All right, we got one more. All right, I saved the best for last. This one is gonna definitely polarize some people.
Keep things civil in the comments. My fiance almost died in a car accident. That's when my mother-in-law told me he cheated on me with an ex. Now he's recovering well. I feel so guilty for wanting to end it. I feel like a horrible person. We are supposed to get married on August 20th in a small ceremony. I've been with my fiance for 6 years, engaged for 1. The best years of my life. He's brilliant in every way, or so I thought. The accident happened 6 weeks ago. A drunk driver hit my fiance's car. I spent the worst night in my life in the hospital waiting for answers from the doctors, and he went through hours and hours of surgery. His parents and brothers were also there waiting. I've always loved his family and they me. His mom is and was one of my favorite people, and we got along really well. She was happy to have me as her first daughter-in-law. She's religious, and when my fiance was hovering between life and death, she was worried about his sins, so she told me he cheated on me about 2 months ago with an ex he bumped into. She explained that it was because of the wedding and the stress of planning it. Apparently, I've been both stressed out and stressing him out. He had a weak moment. It was a one-time thing and he regretted it so much. He asked his parents for advice on what to do and they told him not to say anything. As long as he's remorseful and as long as it was me that he wanted, he should forget about what he did and move on. His whole family knew. Oh, brother. Oh, no. After the hospital, he moved to his parents' house because we live in a flat without lifts. I visit him every day. I haven't told him that I know, and his family's acting like nothing has changed. They're happy he's doing better, and understandably so, and my presence by his side is helpful according to him and his family. Now, both fiance and his parents are talking about us being able to get married on the day we set after all. I feel awful because I don't want that. Our relationship was over the moment I found out about the cheating. I stayed because I loved him and still do, and wanted him to feel better. I couldn't break his heart while he's recovering. I also thought the wedding was postponed and that I would have more time for him to fully recover and be strong and independent again so I could leave with a clear conscience. I tried to speak to his mom today, but she started hyperventilating and kept telling me not to do this. She made a mistake by telling me that I shouldn't take advantage of what she said in desperation to punish him and kill his spirit. He's recovering and he needs me. Okay, so what about you? He cheated on you. Like, you're literally the victim here. Apart from the fact that he's, recovering from a car accident. I've been thinking since my talk with his mom about everything, and I'm so angry at him. As you should be, dude. He cheated on you right before you were about to get married. Like, I'm ashamed that even when I was worried about his life, I was very angry and resentful. We were supposed to have our wedding in this beautiful manner that he found that's all inclusive with the most important people. My best friend is a DJ and my parents paid for the whole thing, even though they're much poorer, so I don't know where this stress has come from. Sounds like an excuse to me. We fixed everything in a week. I'm so angry and I've kept bottling it up since the accident. I'm afraid I'm going to explode soon. Okay. There's more to this story, but judging by what you have said, I can understand wanting to wait for him to feel better, but you do really need to consider not marrying this person. And listen, I don't judge people who stay with a boyfriend or a husband or a fiance or, you know, a girlfriend or a wife that cheat, okay? Like, till death do us part. Marriage is sacred, and if you make a promise to someone, you make a promise to someone. You haven't made that promise yet. All right, there's more to the story. I told my fiance I know about his infidelity and canceled the wedding. He still wants a second chance. I started by telling my parents who are paying for the wedding about what happened and that I'm canceling the wedding. Hopefully they can get back some of what they paid via their home insurance. I've told them that I'm gonna pay for the rest of the damages. My dad refused, I insisted. It's not up to them, period. Since my fiance still lives with his parents, I felt I would be outnumbered if I went alone to end it. Text or a call wasn't an option since he meant a lot more to me than that, and I really wanted to see his face and ask, WTF? Excuse me? I also want him to see my hurt. I don't want it to be comfortable for him. Cheaters must see the hurt they cause and hopefully learn from it. Yeah, if there's no repercussions for his actions, like, you know, seeing you hurt or canceling the wedding, he's gonna keep doing it. When I told him the wedding was off and the reason why, he started crying. He told me all the things they say in desperation. He was foolish, he didn't think, he was stressed out, he was scared. It meant nothing. He regretted it. He didn't want to tell me because it meant nothing and he didn't want to hurt me. I should give him a chance to prove himself and his loyalty. He can ask his parents to pay for the wedding. We can postpone the wedding indefinitely. I can take the apartment and he will live with his parents as long as it takes for me to forgive him. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's up to you. You love the guy. It's your relationship, so you need to figure it out. Figure out what's best for you, but know that there's always going to be some resentment in your heart. I haven't cried so much as I did when I was listening to his BS and afterward on my way home. How could he do this to me? He didn't give me a satisfying answer to why he did this to me. To us. I've cried myself to sleep every night since the accident, yet I cried like I've just found out. I'm gonna stay in the apartment we bought together and he will stay with his parents. Prices have gone down the last couple of months. We both agreed that we don't want to sell for less than what we paid. His mom called me to say that she felt guilty for first not advising him to come clean, but even for later divulging his secret to me without his permission. She was disappointed that I took advantage of her moment of panic, but understands that I'm hurt. I'm sorry, yet again, you are the victim here, okay? Like, you're the one that got cheated on. No one else has a right to complain. She said he will do his best to win me back. I'm a bit irritated about the fact that none of them, including my parents, believe that it's really over, and I don't have the energy to prove my point. I just need some alone time now and some peace and quiet. Call it off. Just call it off. What a cluster of a situation. I can understand feeling guilty, especially because he was in a car accident, but like that doesn't change what he did. And like it probably sucks because he has probably a newfound appreciation for you because, you know, who was by his side in the hospital every day? Who was there taking care of him in sickness and in health like you were about to promise? You shouldn't feel guilty because you kept your promise. He didn't. And that's on period. Subscribe!